So, the movie Prey. I just finished watching it on Hulu in 4K, obviously, and on my OLED. So, I'm not gonna spoil this movie. I'm not gonna, give you any spoilers. So don't worry about that. What I'm gonna try to do here, I'm gonna try to kind of give you my uh, positives and negatives of this film. The pros and cons, if you will. So let's start with the with the positive of this film. Before I go to the negative here, um, one of the things that I like about this movie is the fact that there aren't any like movie stars, like Brad Pitt or Jason Statham or anything like that. It would be nice to see Arnold come back, but he said that if it ain't broke, why fix it? Why come back? I totally get it. I understand that, and I think he's right. It wouldn't work even if he comes back. It wouldn't work, but it would be cool if he would come back. Definitely would help with the marketing. Um, so this movie it's set in 1700s. It's one of the tribes, the Apache tribes in North America in the wilderness, and you get to learn about this Apache tribe a little bit. You get to learn about this girl Iki, and her friends, and her family, and her dog. So that's the positive that I like about this movie. That it's Native Americans and the Apaches tribe. So I like that. I really dig that whole story. That's what really kind of got me intrigued into this movie. It is a slow burn. It starts kind of slow in the beginning, before you get to the good stuff. And I like this actress, Amber Midthunder. I think she did a good job playing the Apache girl. Okay, so I like the whole setting, in the beginning, and I love the fact that there are no big movie stars and all that. So that's a nice little setting that Dan Trachtenberg had set up on this film. You might know him from the Cloverfield Lane 10. He worked with J.J. Abrams on the Cloverfield film, the Cloverfield Lane 10, not the first one. That was somebody else. So I like the whole atmosphere of the film. It kind of reminds me of the movie that um, Leonardo DiCaprio was in. Um, I forgot the name of the movie, but the one where he was molded by a bear, him and Tom Hardy. Um, Revenant, Revenant, yeah, kind of has that Revenant feel to it, which is great. All right, so that's the one. That's the positive that I like about this movie. The setting. I love the fact that we're not dealing with special ops, special units, and all that kind of stuff. Um, Now she's great. I like her. Okay, and I love the fact that they haven't used any major big movie stars. So that's a big positive to me. And I also like the way the movie was shot, the way it was filmed. It's very subtle, very nice and atmospheric. Uh, there's some graphic violence in this movie, of course. It's a Predator movie. Now, that's what I like about the film, and she's great. She's a good actress, so I give a thumbs up for her. I really like her. Now, let's get to the negatives. Okay, the cons. We gone to the positives. Let's go to the negatives, the pros and the cons. So the positives are obviously that, as I just mentioned earlier, she's great. I like this actress. I love the fact that they haven't used any major movie stars. I love the atmosphere of the film, so I like that. So that's pretty cool. That's refreshing. Okay, now uh, let's move on to the bad stuff, to the negative stuff, and this is where this is where shit hits the storm, and where you say, "Come on, you had this perfect thing going on, the whole setting in the beginning, and then you screw it all up." Uh, I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying my best not to spoil the movie here. Okay, so here's what I don't like about this film. Um, there seems to be too much of CGI being used on the animals. For example, the bear. Like, not just the bear, but also, I believe it was a mountain lion or something. Um, like, are you guys really that broke that you couldn't get, like, a trainer? There's plenty of trainers out there who train bears, and you couldn't get a grizzly bear. Like, we used to have a Bart the bear before he passed away. You couldn't get, like, call Zeus and have him bring, Zeus the trainer, bring him some bears. Like, you know, yeah, the bear is CGI, and it looks too CGI. It looks too cheap and too CGI. Like, you can tell, and you're like, it kind of like screws it up. And that's one of the negatives that I didn't like. Is too much CGI on the animals, and then you got a predator. I mean, this thing looks nothing like a predator. All right. I mean, I'm not spoiling. I'm just saying, like, what the hell happened, dude? Um, the design of the predator. I was expecting more. And again, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but I was really expecting this. I mean, you almost feel sorry for the predator, dude. Like what have you done to his face, and then you've got this whole notion of, first of all, it's hard to do this because I don't want to spoil it. I'm trying not to spoil anything here. So, CGI. Too much CGI, man, on the animals, and there's even some CGI on the predator, and even the effects of the predator when he's camouflaging. It looks too cheap. I swear to God, the 1987 version looked more, high class and more amazing. I don't know what the budget was of this film, but I feel like that this is why they chose to bring this movie to the streaming directly, because they probably knew that this movie is not going to really do that well in theaters, and they made the right decision. But look, there's so much I want to say here. Maybe I'll talk more in detail on the spoilers version, because it's hard for me to talk about this film without spoiling some stuff. Let's just say that there's some good stuff in this movie, but somewhere in the middle, I don't know. Uh, it's almost like they ran out of money, or like they were in a hurry, or like they were in a hurry and they had to shut down the production, wrap it up, and just finish the movie as quick as possible, or I don't know what the reason was, but and that's the sad thing about this film. This movie could have been really a great thing, but in the middle somewhere they screwed it up. And again, I'll save that for the spoilers version of a film, because right now, I don't want to spoil it. This is not a spoilers version. It's like I said, there's some good stuff in this movie. I like this actress. I like the whole setting, but there's some stuff in the middle of the movie where you say, especially at the end, where I'm like, come on, man. Like, come on. Like, really? One of those kind of things. Like, are you kidding me? So it's sad, that because it could have been, this movie could have been so much more, but somewhere in the middle, like I said, I don't know if it's the budget or if the executive producers said, hey, this is as much money as we're going to give you. Pull the plug. Finish the movie, put it out there on Hulu and see what happens. Um, and look, I'll talk in more detail on the spoilers version. The what I'm trying to tell you is this: it's not a bad movie. I don't want you to think that it's a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. I will repeat again. Hear my words. Please, ladies and gentlemen, hear my words. It's not a bad movie. But it fell short. It could have been so much more. It had such a great potential. That climax, and it just couldn't finish to the finish line. Um, but I'll talk about that on a spoilers version. Okay? And on a spoilers version, I'm going to dive so much into the positives and negatives here. So there you have it. I don't know what else to say because there's not much I can say here because I don't want to spoil. It's hard for me to talk about this film without spoilers, so that way you understand what I'm trying to tell you. Uh, I did mention CGI. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but yeah, I mean that kind of bothers me. Like, really, CGI? You're gonna go to the real locations out there in Canada, right? In Alberta, in the mountains, but then you're gonna, you know, cut short on the budget for the CGI. Actually, it would have cost them less money if they would have gotten the real bear. Like if they would have paid for the real trainer and the real grizzly bear. Honestly, they could have saved more money and maybe used some of that leftover money to make a better ending, if you will. All right, I think I said too much. So it's not a bad movie, but it felt short. It could have been so much more, and that's the sad part. That's the tragedy of this thing. It could have been so much more, man. And it's sad. I mean, really made me sad. I was like almost crying at the end. I was like, this is sad. They had such a great thing in the beginning, and then they, you know, fell short. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll talk about it in a spoilers version. Uh, so, have you seen the movie? What do you think? And please don't spoil the movie. If you put spoilers, I'm gonna remove the comments. All right. All right. Don't do that. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. And yes, there will be live streams. People think that I'm not gonna do live streams. Of course I will. What would YouTube be without Mr. 4K live streams? I just want to make that clear out there. In case some of you are celebrating, don't celebrate yet. Don't open that champagne yet. Mr. 4K will come back on a live stream. Bigger, better, and more badass. Cheers.